welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie and I read a lot, and despite the fact that I read a lot, I still have an obnoxiously high screen time. Ooh, I just got the notification for last week and it was an average of 6.5 hours daily, which is crazy because like I said, I do still read a lot and I also just spend a lot of time on my phone. So, that being said, we're doing the age-old trend of swapping my screen time for reading time. So this week I'm going to try to read for 6.5 hours every single day rather than being on my phone. This is not going to be consecutive because I still got work. I still got to clean my house. I still got to feed myself. So I'll be like stopping and starting the timer. But I am going to try to read for 6.5 hours every day for 7 days, and we'll see how much I can get done. We are starting with Rebel Witch. I did already start it, but we're starting with Rebel Witch, which is the sequel to Heartless Hunter. I'm so excited. This just came out end of February, so I'm really excited to continue reading this, and hopefully I'll be able to get a lot done. I'm not the world's fastest reader though, so we'll see, but I'm happy you guys are going to be along for the ride. Little update, I'm about halfway through. I read in the bath for like 2 hours and it was amazing. I should hopefully be able to finish this book today, but like I said, I'm not the world's fastest reader, so we'll see. I have about 150 pages left, which, you know what, that should be doable. We're gonna try it. Okay, technically I still have 34 minutes left. However, I finished my book, so I'm gonna call it a night. I pretty much read this whole book today. I think we're gonna call it, and then we'll do it again tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day. It is bright and early. I've got my coffee and we're going to start reading. Because of like the sheer overwhelming number of books on my physical TBR, I'm trying to like break up my genres. So I have Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, which is a memoir, and I really just don't read nonfiction. Hasn't really, I think I've bought like a lot of nonfiction books in my day, like a lot of those like self-help books, but I've never once finished one. So I'm hoping I can finish this because everyone says it's amazing. It's only 350 pages, so should be no problem. Set my timer for 6.5 hours, which it's 8:30 in the morning right now, so I have plenty of time. There we go. Let's get reading. About 2 hours in, read about 100 pages, what I think is accurate. Like, I read about 50 pages an hour, so like just under about a page a minute. But I will also say, like, this is very good. I'm really enjoying this book so far, but it doesn't read quite as easily or as fast as like a romance or a fantasy that I'm really into reads. Like yesterday reading Rebel Witch, like I just couldn't wait to see what happened. It was the sequel. I was fully immersed, so I read it very, very quickly. And usually romance I read very, very quickly, but something that's kind of new or differently paced, I do tend to read slower. So that's where I'm at, but I'm fully enjoying this, so we're gonna keep going. I will press play on my timer. about the, ooh, my cat, about the 3 hour mark. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I think just different genres read differently, and this is reading slow, so I'm about halfway. So I don't have any doubt that I'm going to finish this tonight. I am enjoying it. I'm taking the time to annotate it as well, so maybe that's also slowing me down. But again, it just doesn't read as quickly as different genres for me. But that's okay. We're going to keep going. Okay, I went a little over my 6.5 hours, but I finally finished this. I don't know why this took so long. I mean, I do, but I don't. It was really good, but it was just, I don't know. It didn't flow as nicely in my brain, and it took longer to read. I'm sorry, not sorry. I still read for 6.5 hours today, so it doesn't matter. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hello, hi, good morning. It is day 3 of swapping my screen time for reading. We're reading 6.5 hours. I've done it for 2 days. Today is day 3. Today's book of choice is Lore of the Wilds. This is a fantasy. Ooh, look how shimmery. And I've had this on my TBR for quite a while. I think the sequel just came out or is coming out soon. There is 335 pages, but here's the thing. I also have the audiobook. So I've been wanting to do this for so long. Read a book and listen to an audiobook at the same time. So we're gonna do that today. I'm really excited. There it is on my Kobo. I love my Kobo so much. So we're gonna hook this up to the Bluetooth and then we're gonna read. And I have no idea how this is gonna go. Like, I'm hoping, how long is this actually? It does say that the audiobook is 10 hours. So I might need to, here's the thing. I know a lot of people listen to audiobooks on like 1.5 or 2x speed. I have never done that. I always listen to it at 1x speed because I need to be able to process, okay? But I'm wondering am I going to be physically reading faster than the narration? Is the narration going to be faster than I'm reading? I'm curious. I'd be surprised because normally, okay, I guess it'll depend how engaging and how quick this book is. But normally a book this length, I would say I'd be able to get done in 6.5 hours. It's saying that it's 10 hours and 51 minutes. So basically 11 hours. We'll see. And if I don't finish this today, that's fine. This video is not supposed to be me reading a book every single day of the week. It's more supposed to be reading 6.5 hours, aka my screen time last week. So we'll see. We're gonna play it by ear. Oh, that got really bright for a second there. We're gonna play it by ear. It is snowing outside. It's not gonna stick because it's gonna be above 0 this whole week, but it's snowing. It's feeling like a little cozy day to just read and listen. So I'm really excited, and why not? Let's just get started. Let's get my timer going. I'm about an hour in, and I've only read 44 pages, so it is going a little bit slower with the narration. I did bump the speed up to 1.5. I did try 1.75 and 2x speed, and I don't like that. It just feels like they're just tripping over the words. So 1.5 I think is a happy medium. It's a little bit faster than what, obviously it's faster than 1 speed, but because like with 1 speed, if I wasn't reading along, I would listen to it at 1x speed. That's just my jam, okay? I know a lot of people don't agree, but that's my jam. I like it at the normal speed. However, there's just a lot of like pauses and breaths and breaks that I don't take in my mind when I'm reading. So that's why I've just bumped it up to like get over that a little bit faster. But it is causing me to slow down a little bit, which I do appreciate because I have been reading like absolutely feral this week already. So I honestly don't think I'm going to read this entire book today, and I kind of hope that I don't. I kind of want to stretch it out until tomorrow. I still have 5.5 hours to go. I've only read an hour, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's feeling pretty immersive, and I'm enjoying it. So let's just keep going. I love these silly little reading vlogs, man, because every day we just end up in bed together reading our books. It's so fun. I have about an hour and a half to go for today, and I have about like almost 4 hours left in the book. So I'm not gonna finish today, which good. It feels good. It feels like I'm pacing myself for a change. But the experience of reading and listening at the same time, I'm really enjoying it. It's very different. Yeah, I'm still just so getting used to audiobooks. I feel like I'm not naturally an audiobook girl, but it is nice to have something on while I'm reading, because I can't listen to music while I read. I can't really have background noise while I read, because I get distracted. I'm a distracted girly. So being able to like listen to what's going on the page has been really good. I'm having a good time. It's the only thing is like 1.5 speed is still a little bit too slow, but 2x speed is too fast. So I am pacing myself with the 1.5 speed. And that's fine. That is totally fine. Okay, just wrapped up my 6.5 hours. We are on page 243. Got about 100 pages, just under 100 pages left. So it went pretty good. This was pretty nice. It did make me pace myself, which I appreciate. I feel like I'm absorbing a bit more, and it's just a more fun experience. So today was a success. We'll finish this tomorrow and start something new. So I will see you guys then. I am so excited to finish this today. I think overall I really am enjoying listening and reading at the same time. It's a fun activity. So let's start our timer. 6.5 hours. Okay, I'm at the 4.5 hour mark, and I just finished Lore of the Wilds. I like the experience of listening to the audiobook and reading the book. However, I don't think I liked this book. I didn't hate this book. I'm trying to figure out what it is about, like, fantasy books from the last maybe 5 to 10 years. Like, they just don't hit the same as fantasy books from prior, or like, I don't know. It's very hard to put into words like why I don't really like these kind of new age fantasy books. Like, for one, it's like everything is too convenient. Okay, let me share my thoughts, because I need to keep reading if I'm going to finish my screen time swap for the end of the day. Way too many descriptive flowery words. It's like, it just feels really unnecessary. Too much exposition. Stop over explaining things to me, especially how a character is feeling. Like, keep it short and sweet. Like, we don't need to keep going over this again. I feel like too, with these kind of newer adult fantasy books, they feel very childish. And then they try and like squeeze some smut in there, and it doesn't blend well. It feels really awkward. I mean, like, this one had like one scene, like it wasn't that big of a deal, but like the flow of it feels really unnatural, and like they're just, they're trying to hit their marks, and it's just, I don't know. And I don't like love triangles. I just don't care. I don't feel like she had a connection with either of these guys enough to justify any sort of confusion on how she's feeling, but that's just me. I'm gonna have to sit on this for a little while because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, the author the benefit of the doubt, and I want to read the second one. I think it comes out this year. Because like I said, I didn't hate it. I just feel like the language and the way that these newer books are written is just like something's not hitting the way that fantasy books used to hit. I don't know if that's just me or if that makes any sense, but I have 4.5 hours left to go. It's already 5 o'clock. So I need to shower. I need to eat. I don't think I'm going to be done reading today before 10 p.m. So wish me luck. But we're going to start Intermezzo. Can I speak? No, but that's fine. This is Sally Rooney. It came out yes, it is. Came out end of last year. I have not read it. Obviously, I've not read it. I haven't read any Sally Rooney. I have been meaning to read Normal People for the last couple of years, and I just haven't yet. So that's not a good sign. I'm going to get to reading this. I got 4.5 hours left to read. I don't know. I did get up at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm really tired. Anyway, okay, we're spiraling a little bit. It's a Thursday afternoon. I'm tired, and we still have 4.5 hours left to read. So we're gonna get into Intermezzo. It's about chess playing and brothers. I'm at the 3-hour mark, and I'm only 60 pages in to Intermezzo. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Intermezzo or Intermezzo? Well, somebody's gonna correct me. Either way, I'm enjoying it so far. I am reading it slower, and that it just, at the end of the day, it just comes down to genre. I think it has nothing to do with how much I'm enjoying a book. Obviously, if I'm not liking a book, I'm gonna read it slower, but I'm enjoying it. It's just slower. I don't know what the word is for, or if there is a word for books that like don't have quotation marks. So like everything is just one big block of text. There is no like quotation marks for when somebody's speaking. So it'll just be like a sentence in the middle of a paragraph. And I have read books like that before, and I've enjoyed books like that before. It always, like, it's just not the norm for my brain. So it takes my brain like a hot second to kind of figure out and get reused to it. So that's what we're doing. And that's also why I'm a little bit slow. I feel like I'm a little bit slower because I have to, when I get to the end of the sentence, it'll be like, he said, and then I'll be like, oh, where did that start? So like my brain is just working in overtime because I just read like a fantasy book that was by all means way easier than this. So that's where we're at. I got 3 more hours. I'm gonna keep reading. All right, y'all, I need to go to bed. I made it to like page 200, which is almost halfway, which is farther than I thought I was gonna get. So I really do feel like I just ran a marathon in my mind. I'm gonna go to sleep, and we're gonna do this again tomorrow. Good morning. I believe it is day 5 of swapping my screen time for reading. It is just after 8 a.m. It's also the day after daylight savings, so I am so tired. But we got to read for 6.5 hours. I'm hoping, but not confident, that I will finish Intermezzo. I think another book this size, like a fantasy or a romance, would be no problem. But like I said, I just read different genres at different paces. So I think it's going to, maybe 6.5 hours, but I'm not confident. I will finish it tomorrow if I don't finish it today. But yeah, let's just get going. I'm at about the 3-hour mark, and it's pretty slow going, but I am having a good time So we're gonna keep reading. It feels like it's gonna be a long night. I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. I think I'm gonna come pretty close though, so let's keep going. Hey, how y'all doing? I 100% fell asleep last night, and my timer, my screen time timer woke me up. So I don't know at what point I fell asleep, but I did not entirely read 6.5 hours. I'm so sorry. It might have been like 5.5 hours. It might have been 5 hours. I got close. And you know what? I only have about 40 pages left in Intermezzo. So we're gonna knock this out real quick. I'm really enjoying it. I just think that, again, this is my first and only Sally Rooney book. Yes, I want to read Normal People and all of the other ones. So I can't speak to any of her other books in terms of how they were written. This one feels the style of writing is just different from anything I've read. So it took me a little while to kind of get used to and kind of get into the groove of it. But now that I am loving it. So we're going to set the timer. 6.5 hours. We're starting at 9 a.m. today, so there's no reason why I should fall asleep today. And let's finish this book together. Okay, just under an hour, I finished Intermezzo. And I have thoughts, but I don't think I can actually, I clicked something. I don't think I can actually formate them right now. I'm gonna have to genuinely sit on this for a little while. Sorry, my bangs are pissing me off. I think I really liked it. But it's kind of left me with this feeling that I don't quite know how to describe. So I'm gonna sit on it for a little while and formulate my thoughts for like a proper review, but I still have 5.5 hours left to be reading today. So we're gonna start the next book, which I already have planned because you know I do. I have The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. This is the sequel to The Housemaid. I read The Housemaid last year. I really, really enjoyed it. And I've only read The Housemaid and The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, both of which I really enjoyed. I know that not everyone on the internet enjoys them. I think a lot of people think they're too predictable and simple, and you know what? I'm here for it. But of the two Frida McFadden books I've read both of them within 24 hours because I just can't put them down. So I'm hoping that this one goes the same way, like a quick, intriguing read that I can just naturally read faster because it's like, oh, what's going to happen? But I'm a little bit nervous because it is a sequel, like, if it doesn't live up to the hype, it doesn't live up to the hype, you know what I mean? So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But that being said, I've had this on my bookshelf for a long time, and I am just hoping that this is going to breeze by really quickly. So we have 5.5 hours. I think that this should be no problem. It's just over 300 and about 350 pages, actually. So can we do it? Yes. Will we? I hope so. Let's get to it. Jump scare, I changed my outfit because like the toddler I am, I spilt my lunch all over myself. Okay, so 3 hours and 18 minutes to go. And I'm like almost halfway through The Housemaid's Secret. As I predicted, it's reading so fast and easy. Like anytime I'm in a reading slump or I'm like, wow, I haven't read enough books, I swear, a Frida McFadden book is just going to pull me out of that. I'm going to be finished it in one day. I can add it to my numbers, and it just gets me out of a reading slump. I think it's pretty fine. I think it's doing, you know what? I think it's pretty good for a sequel. Like, nothing's going to top The Housemaid, but I feel like this is doing a pretty good job at, like, what's our main character Millie up to after that book. So I'm here for it. I honestly like it. And like I said, it's just reading so good. It's smooth like butter. So I'm going to keep reading. I have a feeling I'm going to finish this well before the next 3 hours. But yeah, let's go. have an hour and 6 minutes left. Ooh, I should pause that. An hour and 6 minutes left, and I just finished The Housemaid Secret. Yeah, like not as good as the first one, but like honestly, I was a little bit skeptical about a sequel in this series because it's not like a continuation, but it is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Like, since when do thrillers get sequels? I thought this was pretty good. I think there's at least one or two more. There's one like The Housemaid's Wedding, Marriage, or something like that. There's some book that just came out this last year. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to read that or continue this series, but it might be worth it. Like, it's, again, always I can read a Frida McFadden book in a single day. That's maybe not super impressive, but for me, that always feels good. It's like, yeah, I read an entire book today, and you know what? It took, like, I started this with 5.5 hours, so I read this in 4.5 hours, which is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. So, for the first time, I don't know what I'm going to read next. I'm going to have to go to my bookshelf, but I will catch up with you for the last hour of reading in 1 second. Okay, I just pulled Sing Me to Sleep off of my shelf. This is by Gabby Burton. I started this a couple vlogs ago. I think I was doing like a how many pages I read in a week kind of thing, or like read with me for whatever. I was doing a reading vlog and I had started this book. I read the first 50 pages and I DNF'd it, and it was a soft DNF. I always intended to come back to it. It was just at the time I don't know. I just wasn't really in the mood for fantasy, but now I have read Intermezzo and The Housemaid Secret in a row, so like a lit fic and then a thriller. So now I'm back to fantasy. So I feel like I'm in a better headspace to do this one. I do feel like the first 50 pages were quite heavy on the world building. Obviously, this is a problem. I think I talked about it when I read Lore of the Wild, where I just feel like a lot of modern fantasy are just a little bit too, I don't know, there's just something about them that I'm not exactly vibing with, the way that authors have been writing fantasy lately. That being said, I owe it to the author and I owe it to the book, because I paid for it, to read it. I'm a completionist at my core, so I'm going to read for the next hour. Sing Me to Sleep, I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to read that much again because it's just very heavy on the world building and like what's going on, the setup and everything. So it always just reads a little bit slower to me, but let's get going. I'm jumping in at page 50. I think I pretty much remember everything. Yeah, I remember enough, so let's keep going. Good morning. We are starting this video bright and early at 8:30 a.m. At some point, I'm going to have to stop blaming the time change for how sleepy I am and just kind of own up to it. But I think I still have like one more day that I can blame this on the time change. So this is the time change's fault that I am so sleepy. Anyway, today's our last day of swapping our screen time for reading. I'm not going to lie. This has been a challenging experience. It's been a challenging experience. Where we left off yesterday, I read 50 more pages of Sing Me to Sleep for my last hour of the day, but I have decided to officially DNF that book. Like I said, I read 50 pages like 2 months ago, and I figured I would come back to it, but I did read another 50 pages, so 100 pages in total. And I just realized, you know what? I'm sure this book is for somebody, but it's not for me, and my TBR is too long and life is too short, so I gotta move on. So today we are starting a new book. We are starting Tender as the Flesh. Now, this book is only just over 200 pages. It's like 209 pages. But I do feel like it's gonna be a slow read because people have said it's quite heavy. This is definitely a book I've been putting off for a while because it intimidates me so much, and it is kind of like, reviews are mixed. Either you love it or hate it. It's about a dystopian world in which humans are being processed for food and society is divided into predators and prey. So, seems like it would be right up my alley. If it's a little bit too gross, it might be difficult, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway, and we'll see how it reads. almost 2 hours, and I'm about halfway through. Um, hmm. Thoughts? So many. This is crazy. It's kind of exactly how I imagined it would be, but it is, the descriptions are pretty detailed, and how they're processing this human meat. And I do understand that there are larger themes at play, but this is also just solidifying my choice to not eat meat. So I feel validated. I know that there's so much more going on, and the author means so much more than that. But those are my initial thoughts. This is rough. This is wild. This is uncomfy, like a needed uncomfy. You know what I mean? Like this is totally not a book. I'm only halfway through, but I think I can say that this is not a book for everybody, but I do think it is an important look at stripping humanity back. And I'm out of focus, aren't I? Stripping humanity back and kind of looking at humanity through these tough lenses of survival, and how far removed do you have to be okay with these things happening. We'll get more thoughts, I'm sure, as the day goes on, as the book goes on, and at the end, but that's where we are right now. I'm tired. It's tough, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, I have 2.5 minutes to go. 2.5 minutes? 2.5 hours to go. I just finished Tender as the Flesh. I did have to sit and stare at the wall for a good 15 minutes afterwards. It is one of those books that ends so abruptly, but not in a way where I'm like, the story's incomplete. Even though, like, it kind of is. Like, it stops mid-event, and you're like, what's going to happen next? But, like, in terms of the characters and the storyline, it's like, unfortunately, makes sense. In this moment, this is literally so fresh in my mind because I just finished it, so I can't formulate an accurate review without giving spoilers. So I'm gonna sit on this for a little while. I think I'll be rating it pretty high, but like, this was hard to stomach. This was hard to digest. So like I said, I have 2.5 hours left in my reading challenge for today, so I'm gonna go pick out like a light little romance book to get started on, because this was a lot. This was a lot. Not gonna lie. So I'll catch up with you when I've picked up a much lighter book. Hello, I'm back in my favorite place, my bed. Maybe one day I'll have like a proper reading room and like a comfy chair, but for now, it's my bed. I got my tea. With the time change that I've been complaining about for the last couple of days, it is still like, it's 6:30 and it's still so bright out. My winter habit, especially on nights when my husband works late, has been in bed in my pajamas by 6 to just read for the rest of the night. So it feels weird now that it's still so bright outside. I'm gonna have to like rejig my schedule. But anyway, I picked out Every Summer After by Carly Fortune because I need the dopamine hit. I need something light, and I need some summer vibes, I think. You know, the sun staying out longer is invoking those feelings in me, but also, this is the last Carly Fortune book I have to read before the new one comes out in May. I have tickets to go and see her. She's coming here for an author event, which I'm so excited. I've never been to an author event, and she's Canadian. I have loved all the books I've read from her so far, and this is her debut. What's really funny is like with both Carly Fortune and Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry, I've like started at their newest release and then like worked backwards so that their debut is like the last one I've read. I don't know why that's how it's like worked out, but I love all three of these women so much. So I'm going to read this. I love reading books by Canadian authors because not that this is important for right now, but anytime I talk about Canadian authors and books, I mention this because I'm Canadian, by the way. All media is, like most media, I should say, the norm is all media is inherently American. Books, movies, TV shows, music, just culturally, everything by default is American. So whether you're reading a book, and it can be a fantasy book or anything, but being written by an American author, it's so easy to tell that this is inherently American, or just any other book where it doesn't necessarily say where it takes place, but you can tell that it has American brands and names and things like that. So I love getting that from books like this, like hearing about no name chips and like lakes in Ontario and things like that, where it's just like, I know this thing, I know these people. So 2.5 hours. I will catch up with you in 2.5 hours. That sounds good. Okay, my 6.5 hours are done for the day and done for the week. I made it to page 110. As with pretty much all romance books, it just reads very quickly and easily, which is nice and a good break for my brain considering what I read before that. That takes us to the end of the week. I will catch up with you guys in a second for my final thoughts. So that is the end of my swapping screen time for reading. I did this for 7 days, and not gonna lie, it was a challenge. And that's coming from somebody who does read a lot, but having a specific time goal is like exhausting, because I didn't make it. I think there was like 1 or 2 nights where I didn't make it because it's challenging, but it was a good challenge nonetheless. My screen time did go down, so that's good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe because I am constantly talking and sharing books. So if you're into that, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.